Hey guys, it's Luca with Learning MTG, and today I wanted to talk about my most recent purchase. I bought about, I think it was 89 copies of Grim Feast. So, I recently saw a video, someone was talking about good cards that are like good for EDH, but people don't really know a lot about. And then they mentioned this card, Grim Feast. So, let's look at Grim Feast. And I could not believe it was a reserve list card. And not only that, but the price. Okay, so this little spike here, that was me, I guess. It's funny. It's funny that I'm the culprit. Okay, but basically, I like the technicals. I like the fact that the price is increasing. If the price were still decreasing here, I would not be excited to buy it because it's like, okay, it used to be a $2 card, but what is the new floor? Here, I'm fairly confident the new floor is like $6, $7 or whatever. Um, but if it was still going down, I would not have. If it was still going down, I would not have bought it. So basically, I like kind of the technicals that are going on. I like the fact that there's like a slow, steady increase in price that was happening over the past couple months. And also just like as a Magic player, reading this card, it just seems like a very powerful EDH effect, right? You're basically like in EDH, cards that are good are cards that scale well into the late game because everyone's got 40 life, so that kind of just makes the game much longer. And then most cards in Magic have kind of like a exponential trajectory of power, and so like an 8 drop is really powerful, but in constructed it's just not going to matter because you're going to be dead before you can get it out. Whereas in EDH you have more chance to accrue value out of the slower cards. So Grim Feast is an example of that. If you're playing a long game, a lot of creatures are dying, you're gaining a lot of life from this. In addition, it's powerful in multiplayer because it's got an effect that happens whenever an opponent's creature dies. Meaning, if you have 3 opponents and two of them are fighting against each other, destroying each other's creatures, you're gaining from them kind of fighting against each other. So there's, in addition to that, I can see intuitively why this would be powerful in multiplayer. Maybe we should even just take a look at EDH Rec. I never looked, but this is something you can do to see, is this in fact a good card in um, Grim Feast? Is this in fact seeing play in EDH? And even if it wasn't seeing play in EDH, I would still buy it because I mean the ideal investment is you want to catch a reserve list card that is not yet seeing a lot of play in EDH, but is about to see a lot of play, right? Because if it was already kind of hitting its ceiling, then it may not have much more room to grow. So it's in no decks. Wow, that's crazy. So that's actually kind of risky. I don't like that. I don't like the fact that it's only in 202 decks. So that to me says there may be, my analysis may be wrong. This card may actually not be that good in EDH. So yeah, that was kind of what I did. I bought a bunch of copies on eBay, as you can see here. Um, I bought a bunch of copies on TCG Player, as you can see here. And basically what I did is I said, okay, the near mint copies are going for $10 right now, and LP is going for maybe $7. So I'm gonna go up to $9 on light play, and up to $12 on near mint, and I'm just gonna buy all the copies I can that are at that price, basically, or lower. So that's what I did. And I ended up buying from TCG Player, eBay, and ABU had a bunch of copies as well. So that was a spec. I mean, it's kind of risky, right? Buying that many copies of the same card is always risky. Because if you get stuck with it and you can't really, it doesn't increase in price, then you're going to eat into your own profits as you sell it. But at the same time, I like to be decisive. When I see something like this, it seems like a great opportunity because the technicals are good, the fundamentals are good. This does seem like a powerful EDH card to me, and it is on the reserve list. So I just go for it. I don't deliberate in these types of situations. I'll deliberate afterwards, After I see what happens, whether this investment goes well or poorly, I will then deliberate and then decide whether I made a mistake, and then update kind of my heuristics on how I invest. So that's all there is to this video. I hope you guys enjoy it. I think what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to make a video kind of doing an analysis of reserve list cards. Reserve list seems to be like a hot topic right now. My take on reserve list is I like to go for reserve list cards that are seeing play in EDH, because I think that that's like the real squeeze. Is like you've got a lot of demand because the most popular format in Magic is EDH, and then you've got the supply issue. So I've bought recently. I bought like Recurring Nightmare. I bought Wheel of Fortune, and I bought Grim Monolith. So to me, those are cards that I can see are definitely powerful in EDH and are on reserve list. And I wouldn't buy a reserve list card like, oh, what is the Rudy video I was watching today? Diamond Prism or whatever. What is this card? Diamond Kaleidoscope. Like I don't like these types of reserve list cards. I would much prefer a card that's gonna be seeing like EDH play, casual play. That's like the highest tier of demand to me. I think like the demand you would see through EDH is gonna be higher than the demand you would see through a constructed format. Anyways, that's the gist of this video. So I bought a bunch of these Grim Feasts, and I think we won't be able to know whether it was a good investment for another year or two. So stay tuned, and maybe I'll make another video kind of going over what happened and, whether it was a good decision or a bad decision. Thanks, guys. Hope to see you guys in the next video.